Abbott Elementary star Sheryl Lee Ralph reflects on one of the worst auditions of her career for Saturday Night Live. Sheryl Lee Ralph, the Emmy-winning star of Abbott Elementary, recently opened up about a difficult moment in her otherwise illustrious career, an audition for Saturday Night Live that, in her own words, went terribly wrong. Despite being at the height of her success with the Tony-nominated Dreamgirls, Ralph revealed that her SNL audition turned into what she candidly called one of the worst auditions of her career. During Entertainment Weekly's Awardist Comedy Actors Roundtable, Ralph joined fellow comedy powerhouses Uzo Aduba, The Residents, Liza Colón-Zayas, The Bear, David Alan Grier, St. Denis Medical, Nathan Lane, Mid-Century Modern, and Michael Urie, Shrinking. The discussion, moderated by EW executive editor Garrett Hall, covered the highs and lows of their respective careers, and it was in this open setting that Ralph shared the humbling and humanizing story of her SNL misfire. With her signature poise and humor, Ralph began recounting how excited she had been upon hearing that Saturday Night Live was looking to diversify its cast. They were finally going to add gender and color. They were going to add a black woman to the cast, she exclaimed, her voice still carrying the thrill of that moment, even decades later. At the time, Ralph was already experiencing a career high. She was a Broadway sensation thanks to her acclaimed performance as Dina Jones in Dreamgirls, a role that earned her a Tony nomination and had firmly placed her in the spotlight. With a resume that sparkled and a stage presence that had captivated thousands, she seemed like the perfect choice for the SNL team looking to expand its horizons. Or so she thought. I was so excited, Ralph continued. I'm riding high from Dreamgirls, and I think this is it. This is the next step. I get to bring my comedy, my characters, my voice to SNL. I knew this was going to be a game changer. But things didn't go as planned. When Ralph walked into the room for the audition, something unexpected happened. Her mind went completely blank. I go in there, and I'm ready. I'm ready to show this whole other side of my talent, the comedic side, the impressions, the characters. And there was nothing, absolutely nothing, she said, her face tightening at the memory. Though clearly years later, she could smile about it. I just froze. I can see myself in the room. I remember exactly what I had on. I remember the camera in front of me. And I remember nothing. I gave them absolutely nothing. Her candor struck a chord with a room full of seasoned actors, many of whom nodded in understanding. Each of them had experienced their own career setbacks, but Ralph's story, told with such vivid recall and humility, carried a special resonance. It's one of those moments where you step outside of yourself, Ralph added. You're almost watching yourself crash and burn, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. You're just in it. Despite the complete failure of the audition, Ralph maintained her grace and professionalism. After the audition, she made it a point to thank SNL creator and executive producer Lorne Michaels before leaving the room. I remember shaking his hand and saying, "Thank you," she said. Because even though I knew I had blown it, I was still grateful to be in that room. That opportunity meant something to me. The story, while undeniably cringeworthy in the moment, elicited laughter from the rest of the panel. Not out of mockery, but from a shared place of understanding. Audition horror stories are a rite of passage in the entertainment industry, and Ralph's honesty in sharing hers was not just refreshing, it was inspiring. Throughout her career, Ralph has never shied away from discussing the struggles behind the success. Her openness about that failed audition adds another layer to her already admired persona. It serves as a reminder that even the most seasoned, the most talented, the most acclaimed performers have their off days. And sometimes, the very thing that seems like a missed opportunity is what shapes you most. I didn't get the role. I didn't get a call back. Nothing came of it, Ralph said. But what I took away from that was even more valuable. I learned not to define myself by my worst moments. In hindsight, Ralph's career didn't just survive that audition. It thrived. She went on to continue making history in both television and theater, becoming a beacon for representation and resilience in the industry. And now, as one of the beloved stars of Abbott Elementary, she brings heart, wit, and gravitas to the screen, reminding audiences that authenticity and endurance go hand in hand. Every stumble, every awkward moment, every so-called failure, It all adds up, Ralph reflected. It shapes who you are. That audition may have been the worst one of my life, but it taught me not to let a bad moment define a great career. The Roundtable concluded with a shared sense of camaraderie among the actors, a mutual acknowledgement that the journey to success is never a straight line. Ralph's SNL story, full of humility and humor, served as a powerful testament to that truth. And perhaps most importantly, it was a beautiful reminder that even when the lights are the brightest, the most meaningful lessons can come from the darkest, most humbling rooms.